Every YouTube creator fits into one of four creator positions, and depending on how you position yourself and your content means the difference between constantly struggling with inconsistent views and having a clear pathway to building the type of audience you want. In fact, pretend like you paid me $1,000 to teach this for you because I want to blow your freaking mind. Howdy everyone, Nate here. If you and your content are positioned as a hero, you are the main character. If you're positioned as a performer, you're essentially invisible because it's all about the experience. If you're positioning yourself as a teacher, you are the guide that's leading them. And if you're in the commentator position, you are essentially the filter for your audience to experience something that already exists. So with your permission, let's deep dive into each of these so you can decide definitively which one best fits you and your content as well as your audience goals. And more than that, we're going to go through what each of them is, how to position it correctly, the packaging you'll do for your videos, the delivery on them, and some mistakes that can make or break each of these if you're attempting them. And I will provide a link below where you can get that same questionnaire for free if you join my group. I want to know from you genuinely what you rated yourself based on that questionnaire for each of these positions. If you have a hero position channel, first, you are the main character. You are the one that is experiencing something and you're bringing your audience along for the journey. So let's pretend for a moment that this is you as a creator. We're going to start with hero, of course. This is the video or the content you make, and this is the audience. Now, I found that putting things in positions like this is kind of a unique way to visualize these four positions well. Many times the creator is not cognizant of where they are positioned in relation to their content, which in this case, as a hero, they're watching the video and you are in the video. You are the one experiencing it that the audience is observing. A perfect example of this would be the channel Ariel Bissett. If we look at the videos on Ariel's channel, each video is about Ariel experiencing something. In this case, the ongoing journey is renovating an 1850s farmhouse. So each video is telling the story of what she does along the way. If I'm a hero, I'm the one experiencing something, and you as the audience are joining me. Now, packaging for a hero first channel can be very focused on first person language. So I did something, I tried something. Like this one from Ariel's channel, I've had to completely change the bathroom reno plan. Or the quintessential thrifting and antique shopping vlog and haul, finding a rare gem. Which leads us to the delivery within the videos themselves. Typically, when you are a hero first channel, you are the narrator. You are the one that is experiencing, and because of that, you have the great opportunity through your personality, your authenticity, your connection with your audience to bring people along and allow them to vicariously experience something through you. Now, some of the biggest mistakes that I see creators make when they're attempting to take a hero first position is first and foremost, they are not a very interesting person, or the experiences they are having are just not interesting to an audience. Something that's oft repeated on the YouTube platform is at the beginning, when you're small on your channel, nobody cares about you. The unfortunate reality here is, in many cases, especially if you're leading with hero, that is true. Someone with a smaller audience could attempt to do this same video that Ariel did of a thrifting and antique shopping vlog and just not get any traction because there's no point of reference for the audience. A hero position channel has a double-edged sword of advantage and disadvantage. The massive advantage is if people like you and you gain that traction, the topic of your video doesn't matter quite as much as with some of these other positions. But the flip side of that is, as you are growing your audience, if people don't know about you or care about you already, it can be quite difficult. The main way to combat that, if you are a hero position channel, it's by doing interesting things. The more interesting the thing you are doing, the more likely new people will find your videos and then stick around because they like you. And then when people get into the videos, you be interesting. What is a performer positioned channel? Performers are interesting because they are the only one out of the four that kind of can disappear. In fact, I would visualize it sometimes like this. They're underneath it. You almost, as the audience, you can almost forget that there's a creator underneath here, someone that actually made this piece of content, because as an audience member, you're lost in the story, you're lost in the experience, and you sometimes only care about the video. You don't really care to look underneath and see, oh, there's a person under here. There's a creator. I don't really need to care about them because I've got the content that matters more to me. And what I mean by invisible doesn't mean that you never appear on camera or people don't care about you. There's a lot of crossover between these other types. But what I do mean is creating performer positioned content means that people can enjoy it and never even know your name. And this can be a huge advantage because they can get lost in the story in a performer position channel more than any of these other types of channels. The emphasis with performer positioned content is on the audience, them experiencing something, and when it's done well, they often forget themselves and get lost in the experience. An example of a performer channel that I'll admit is very much a hero type of channel because people care about him a lot is Matt Mitchell. Now, there's perhaps the widest variety of performer types of channels, everything from historical storytelling to challenges that are focused more on the challenge than on the people experiencing them. But in Matt's case, many of these videos are often skits intended to entertain the audience, like this one, ranking every SEC fan base by how annoying they are. With packaging for a performer position channel, what you're focusing on is what's interesting about the topic of the video itself, not necessarily your reaction to it or what the audience is going to get out of it aside from entertainment. An example from Matt's channel of this in action would be the Waffle House 10 Commandments. If an audience member can look at the title and thumbnail of that video and expect one thing and one thing only, they're not here to see his own experience with it. They're not even here to get some additional outside insights. They are here to be entertained. Which leads us to the delivery style for a performer positioned channel. The performer position, perhaps more than any of these other ones, has a lot more variety of what can be done, as long as the main goal all along the way is to provide the audience an experience that they want to experience. As far as the challenges or pitfalls of a performer position channel, the main thing you run into is the core ideas or the concepts for the videos just not being fun or not being laugh-inducing, or they're just not entertaining enough. That may sound similar to what I just said about the hero position, but let me explain what I mean here. The performer position has a massive double-edged advantage-disadvantage because of this fact. The major advantage is you can make a video about basically anything and have it be a really interesting concept, and it will spread really well because the concept itself isn't so reliant on you as the hero or the information or what they're going to get out of it. The concept itself is super interesting to an audience. So your ability to attract a new audience is really huge. The flip side of that is if the concepts or the video ideas that you're delivering on your channel aren't interesting, many times that channel is dead in the water, or you'll see this kind of behavior with your viewership where one video does really well, another one doesn't. One video does really well, another one doesn't. It's because it's so reliant on the subject or the idea for the video that if it's a really good idea, great, it's performing well. If it's a subpar video, then boom, it's not performing well. The audience can be less consistent if this position is taken primarily. So let's talk teacher position. If you are a teacher, this is the one case where you are kind of standing next to the content. You're holding up this piece of content for the audience to observe and learn from. Think of it almost like a whiteboard. From the audience perspective, they care first about the topic matter of the video. They care first about what it is helping them accomplish. But they do also care that you are good at explaining it. So as a teacher, you're often very associated with it. You're right next to the content, and your way of explaining the content really makes a big difference to these audience members. I want this to make sense because if you don't get this, you will continually miss with your video ideas. Your audience has something that they want to accomplish, some skill they're acquiring, an outcome. They're trying to build something out of wood. They're trying to be able to sing really well. They've got something that they want, and they have existing motivation to accomplish something. The better you speak to them and help them accomplish that thing, the better your videos will do. So let's talk position on it. So in a nutshell, a teacher is helping the audience accomplish something. This one, that practical mom, I quit social media and got my brain back. In this case, what is the audience trying to accomplish? They're trying to become a healthier, more productive person. Or 20+ meals I cook when grocery prices make me want to cry. What is implied with this? I'm going to teach you how to make really dirt cheap meals. Big, big advantages. And then with the delivery of a teacher style of channel, and hopefully you help the audience members accomplish what you promised in the packaging in at least a semi-digestible way, in as enjoyable an experience as they can, depending on the topic matter. You know who you are, the topic matter that's drier than the Sahara. Yeah. And the other thing you can do if you have a teacher position channel is you can invite people to boop the like button on your video if it is being helpful to them or eye-opening thus far. So thank you for doing that. Now, some pitfalls for a teacher type of channel. There are some pretty well-defined advantages and disadvantages. Major advantage: if you have a niche where there's not a lot of saturation already existing and you make a video that is answering a need, your video will be surfaced. When I talk about picking a niche, especially if you are teacher position, and you go in and you find those questions that people really want answers to, that they're not being adequately answered yet, massive advantage. This allows your videos to be surfaced by complete strangers who have never heard of you before. As long as your video is helpful to an audience, it's gonna freaking be surfaced. And out of all of these, search-based traffic is the easiest with a teacher-first channel. Now, the flip side of this is that for many teacher-based channels, if they don't also include some of these other elements, as soon as audience members accomplish what they came for, what do you think they're gonna do? Yep. They're going to leave. The audience stickiness for a teacher type of channel is perhaps the most difficult out of all of these positions, if not done well. Now, how do you do well, Nate? Well, I'm going to be talking about secondary positions for each of these here in a moment. Now, one of the main ways I have found to help with any of these, but especially if you are a teacher or a commentator type of channel, is I found a tool called Gling that makes editing videos way easier. In fact, I was just at an event where I swear I was like a Gling ambassador because everybody kept asking me, what are the hacks or things that you're finding right now? And I kept saying, well, I happen to know a way to make editing dramatically easier, especially if you're the type that has multiple takes like myself, and you just want to select the best take and have an AI do it for you. Voila, just use this tool. I'll show you with a video of recent example of mine. As I'm going through this video, I will often have multiple takes of something. It will auto process it for me and say, we think this is the best take. And then from there, it's often just a single click to add back in a section that maybe the AI got wrong, or include jump cuts. And the other thing I found that's been tremendously useful, because I've been using Gling for over a year now, is the step of auto zooming. I have an interesting moment, I zoom in, and then I'm back to normal, and what do? I zoom back out. So go give it a go. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna put a link to it below. Yeah, it's awesome. Now let us talk commentator position. This one it has the potential to be the most misunderstood out of all of these, but listen close while I explain why this one is so powerful. Commentator is sometimes they're holding up the piece of content. They're saying, hey, look at this piece of content, but more often they're actually in between. They are the filter. They're the one that is telling the audience what to think about this content, about what they're discussing in the video. The commentator is the one saying, hey, it's me first, and let me show you this. When you position yourself and your content as a commentator, you are providing a filter through which your audience can experience already existing content. This can include true-to-life nonfiction things like product reviews or real-world news events, or on the fictional side, it can include talking about popular video games or other works of media. And a perfect example of a commentator position first channel is Isaac Brown. Look at this. 8 days ago, as of recording this, Gen Z music producers shocked listening to With the Beatles. The music With the Beatles already exists, but Isaac is able to react to and potentially provide additional insights as a filter for that experience. So how is a commentator actually positioned? I, as a commentator, am sharing or introducing things to my audience that they may not have been aware of yet, but because they trust me as the commentator, they are open to experiencing or learning about this new thing. For packaging, the age-old, tried and true of so-and-so reacts to the classic React face, just like Isaac is doing here. This is a type of packaging that works extremely well for a commentator type of channel. Another approach to packaging for a commentator position channel is questions. Is such and such product good? or finding the very best insert product here. And the promise of the packaging, of course, needs to be delivered in the content of the videos themselves, oftentimes by a reaction type of camera. Most often, it will be the creator showing their face and then reacting to or providing commentary. This is also the type of YouTube shorts you'll see a lot of, where someone shares a recipe and then someone else tries to react to the recipe or make the recipe themselves. A commentator is creating something new based off of something that already exists. Big mistakes and common pitfalls that occur with a commentator. I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record here, but if the subject matter is not something that is interesting, most of the time people will not watch it. Combined with this, as a commentator, you are either a sub-entertainer, meaning your commentary, your filtering makes the original piece of content more interesting than it was, or you're an expert, meaning you're talking about something and you're actually providing additional insight, additional conversation on something. If neither of those things are present within your content, it's going to be a struggle. All right, I'm moving commentator over here, and I'm flipping over to the next page, which is blank. Maybe editor, we can add some text here because I forgot to put this in here that says, this is really freaking important because it will really affect how you approach your content, what Nate is about to say. Can you fit all those words onto this piece of paper? Because that would be awesome. All right, thanks. Let's talk about this next thing here. Primary and secondary. Listen closely here. It is almost never the case that you are purely one of these positions. In fact, if you join my group and take that questionnaire that I will send to you, it will become very clear based on your answers and the explanations of those answers which one is your primary position and your secondary position. Just join the group. To send this home, let's walk through some examples of primary, secondary. Let's say I'm a hero primary and performer secondary. This would be a lot of gaming channels that show their face. They are the one that's primarily experiencing the game, but along the way, they're giving the audience an experience as it's happening. An excellent example, if you want to see this in action, would be the channel Will Jump. And as a fun little aside here, have you ever searched for a playthrough of insert the game here without commentary? It's because you're looking for performer, but not hero. Not everybody likes to have someone experiencing the piece of content. There's different audience preferences, different demographics, different sections of people that like to experience different things, which is why this works so well, because if you are consistent with the approach you take, you can actually attract the right audience and meet their expectations on an ongoing basis and not break their expectations because you accidentally position a video in a way that isn't your audience expectations. Listen to that again because it was perhaps one of the biggest reasons why you are getting inconsistent results in your content. Another example, let's say you are a commentary primary and teacher secondary. Your audience is interested in dance content. It might look like you reacting to current dances on dance competitions and then pausing the video occasionally to provide commentary. You're watching the video, you're reacting to it, then you pause and say, what just happened right there? This is how you can do that too. If you want more examples of this in action, go ahead and join my group. I will send it to you. And just as a note, I am very considerate with the emails I send. I would love to hear from you in the comments on this video what those scores were and your thoughts on it. Did something surprise you? Or was it a confirmation of something you were already doing? I really genuinely want to hear what your experience is with it. To explain what I mean by that, including where this fits into the bigger picture, I made a video for that.